welcome to the A-List. I'm Annabelle Daily, and with me today is author Karen Doornebos. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Annabelle. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how you got into being an author.
Well, it all started when I was very young, and actually I grew up with two parents who were artists, visual artists, painters, and guess what? I couldn't even draw a stick figure. So I had to do something, and I started writing. I started writing at a young age. So I would probably say about, age 11, I started writing poems and stuff.
So when you began writing, did you always know you wanted to be an author, or?
It took a little while, but I knew by middle school that that's one of my strengths. And by high school, I decided, this is what I want to do. So.
So we're going to be talking about, is your book definitely not Mr. Darcy, and this is the first book you've written and published, right?
Correct. Yeah, so, it came out in September of 2011. So, yeah.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about writing that and how you began writing that?
Well, this book is called, classified as women's fiction. Mm-hmm. And, it's a reality show. It's about a reality show set in Jane Austen's England. So my main character has to go back in time, so to speak, and live without her cell phone and modern amenities for 3 weeks. It's kind of a problem for her. So.
And what was writing this like?
Well, it took a while, I have to say. It was years in the making, labor of love on the side as my kids were young and growing up. Mm-hmm. And I wrote when I could, kind of thing. But it finally paid off, and after several tries of getting an agent, I got an agent after 16 queries, what's called queries. So I have an agent, and she sold the book in less than 6 weeks to a New York publisher, Penguin, one of the biggest publishers in the world, really. So
tell me, what's a query?
A query is basically when you write a letter to an agent saying, this is my book. You have to keep it really short. It's about 3 paragraphs. And here's the idea for my book. And I hope you like the idea and let me know, and I'll send it to you. And so it has to be very well crafted. So even that is a writing task. And so I sent about 16 of those off. And on the 16th one, I got a hit.
So altogether, how long did it take from beginning to write this book to when it became actually published?
That's a good question. But you know what? It wasn't a continuous process. Mm-hmm. So I would say when I got pretty serious about it, all in all, it was about 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. For you, not so much for me.
Yeah, I guess for a writer, it does kind of take a long time to get all the way through a book like this. Mm-hmm. And so after you published the book, tell me what happened. So you've published this book, and where do you go from there?
Well, my whole life changed. Now I'm a rock star, basically, and get driven around. No, I'm just kidding. None of that happened. Everything is still the same, except I'm infinitely busier. And I've been lucky enough to get really great reviews on this book. Publishers Weekly gave it a starred review, and all kinds of magazines have written up reviews about it. And that's been interesting because suddenly the spotlight was a little bit on me and my work. And it hadn't been for so long after sitting behind the computer and all by yourself, not getting any recognition. And so the recognition was great. And now I am under contract for a second book. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Penguin has asked for another Darcy-esque. It's not going to be a sequel, but it will be similar. And so I've been working on that for the past year now. Yeah, and a year's a long time too, right?
Yeah, and working on that.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the promotional things you've done to promote this book.
Well, yeah, these days a writer has to do almost everything themselves. Even if you're with a big New York publisher, you still have to do almost all of your promotion by yourself. And it's been interesting. Luckily, I came from advertising and marketing. I had a PR and advertising marketing background. I was a writer for many years doing that, so I know how to write advertising speak, shall we say. So one of the things I did was create this tee. Basically, it's just a sticker on some tea, and these I've been giving away for free at book clubs and all kinds of bookstores, etc. So that's been one of my promo items. And another one has been this coaster, which I also had one of my graphic designer friends help me out with. It's nice to have friends that can do something visually, because I'm able to do the writing, but not anything else. So she helped me come up with this coaster. And this has been a big hit. The coaster's been really fun. Everyone loves getting coasters, apparently. So, and they're nice and flat. You can mail them, etc. Yeah. So that's been part of my marketing effort. But I've also I have a big presence on Facebook and Twitter, and I haven't ventured into Pinterest or any of those other sites yet, but that's to come in the future. So.
Yeah, there's so many different social networking sites. It's kind of hard to get on every single one of them.
I can't keep up with it. Yeah, and it takes time away from writing.
It does. Yes. So actually, on that note, how was it trying to balance your time between writing this book and your other, responsibilities?
It's challenging. Every day is a challenge, and lately I've been working on the weekends because I have a deadline coming up May 31st. So I've been working weekends and some nights, and the kids have been eating a lot of pizza and McDonald's.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm sure it's very much worth it in the end to be able to write.
And they're fully supportive, and my husband's a big support. So, it's nevertheless, just like anything, just like homework and extracurriculars, you have to balance it all, and every day is different, a little bit of a juggling act.
So you told me this book is written in the era, or the characters are put back into the era of Jane Austen. So tell me a little about her influence on the book and on your writing.
And here's Jane Austen. Here she is, right here. She's got her quill right there. She's wielding her quill as we speak. And I bring this action figure with me to various book discussions, and I've been invited to a lot of bookstores where I give little talks, and I bring her along just for fun. Everyone kind of likes her. She's available on Amazon for $6.99. But I set the book in the year 1812, and things were a lot different then. So we didn't have electricity. Everything's set in England, but same deal here. We didn't have electricity, no indoor plumbing. These were the problems of the day. So my character has to face those issues and sort of work through them. And I won't spoil it, but we have to appreciate what we have these days. Air conditioning, the fact that women are able to wear pants. This is a good thing. So.
All right, and then we did talk a little about your new book, but once you publish that, what are you thinking about your future as a writer? Are you planning on continuing to write?
Oh yeah, I'll always write. There's no doubt about that. I've always written, and I always will write. It's kind of a curse. So I think once you're any kind of artist, you continue doing that no matter what. So absolutely, I will continue writing. I will probably be writing more novels. I also want to do a little bit of poetry. I think that would be cool. And I will probably be stepping back a little bit into the advertising world again and doing some creative work in that field again. So there's a lot of possibilities. I'm very excited about it. There's always writing that needs to be done out there. So it's a wide world open to all of us, really.
And there's just one last question that I'd like to ask you a little bit about, which is something that I'm sure you get asked a lot as an author. Could you tell me who your favorite author is, or some of them?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can guess who one of them is, right? One of them is Jane Austen.
I can imagine.
And I really, I got introduced to Jane Austen very young when I was a sophomore in high school, just like you are. And it was a very influential book for me then. Although I love Shakespeare, I loved Dickens, all the classics, really. And, of course, the modern authors I adore as well. And I even believe in reading absolutely anything and everything, including the back of the cereal box. Someone wrote that, In fact, you know, when I was in advertising, those are the kinds of things I would write, was packaging, packaging design. There are writers behind all of this, so I believe in reading everything you possibly can. If you're reading no matter what, it's not bad. There have been some books that have come out recently that have gotten some press about being, you know, not quality literature, but I actually believe that if you're reading, it's a good thing. And you can find your influences anywhere, really.
Well, Karen, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on this show
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You've been watching The A-List. I'm Annabelle Daily. Thanks for watching.